Good evening, everyone. So I know for the fact, based on how the interactions have happened with people who are interested to look at ADIT as one of the qualification, the first question which I get to hear is, uh, what is the relevance of ADIT for people both ways? One, who have experience in international taxation, and second, who do not know about international taxation. So, friends, I would say personally, looking at the content of the course and with the overall structure, the way it has been designed, it's basically a one size fitting all for two reasons. One is that as far as for beginners is concerned, it gives you an insight to the text on international taxation as the basic paper preparation, which gives open to your horizon to the thought process in and around the concepts of international taxation directly from the international literature, like commentaries which are available on the subject. And then it allows you to choose jurisdiction specific topics, which could be your own jurisdiction where you have not understood the international tax principles or you have not practiced it. And second is it also gives you an option to either choose transfer pricing, which is a specialization, and more so when you look at Indian market or the Indian territory, we have a lot of scope as far as transfer pricing is concerned. We are the jurisdiction where we have seen a lot of litigation around the subject. There's a lot of evolvement around the subject, and now we see that global world follows the trend which Indian judiciaries set as far as the judicial precedent is concerned. So from that perspective, I would say that it's a good combination for ones who want to begin with this. It gives you a flavor of international tax transfer pricing, and then you can also elect any of the papers which are for a specific jurisdiction. Because at times, if you are looking at international placements, or if you are looking at acquiring knowledge with respect to a specific jurisdiction, which may be of a regular use or which may be of a important importance as far as your organization is concerned, I think that flexibility is available with ADIT. Alternatively, for people who already have worked in international taxation, have reasonable experience, for them ADIT could come as a benefit, because while we are busy working, serving our clients, at times we don't get time to update ourselves, and that's where ADIT study material could help us update ourselves with the principles of international taxation, and then also look around the practical aspects which are brought in through the examination questions which are there, which are more kind of a practical advisory kind of assignment structured papers, whereby it doesn't seem that you're appearing for an examination. And a disclaimer here, people, those who have already experienced certain other examinations which we have gone through on the subject, so don't confuse yourself when you think about ADIT examination, because the primary difference here is that it's not testing your memory, whether you understand or read or remember. That's not the principle here. The principle is whether you have understood the concept, and that's the best part of it, because when we do practice international taxation, practical aspects are when we see real life situations. Theoretically, even if we read commentaries on a particular article, it would not throw up our thought process open when we look at the theoretical aspects of it, because they may be neutral at point in time. But when you test those principles against a real life situation, that makes it more viable, and that's how you can develop the thought process around international tax principles. So when we look at the content and the exam pattern, when we correlate both of these, when you appear and look at past examination papers which are available and the suggested answers which are expected from a candidate, you would find a lot of correlation. As if you are looking at a practical scenario in front of you, a client sitting before you, or an organizational challenge posted before you by your management, and you have to address it, it's exactly the same situation. And that's where the practical training and the practical aspect of ADIT comes to your table. Another part is that if you want to specialize in a particular jurisdiction with an intention to relocate to an international jurisdiction, as Rory was mentioning, that outside of UK, so within UK, ADIT has only 20% of its candidates. 80% is outside, and India being one of the sole contributory to in terms of numbers. And I'm certainly seeing that uptrend, because the year in 2013 when we appeared, we were around 11 students, out of which one had traveled from Bangladesh to India to appear for examination. Well, back then we were all appearing in the physical mode of examination, that too had one center in India. Now, because of the technology, examination is at your doorstep. You don't need to travel anywhere for examination. The only drawback which some professionals may feel with respect to this subject, or the way examination or the curriculum is structured, is that it's a self-study module. So basically, when you grow up in age, self-study is something which is the hardest thing to do. Reason being that you need that kick, or you need that push always to spend time and devote time out of your busy schedule. Anyways, accountancy and taxation is a dull field. We don't have fun-loving assignments except for litigation, which is not that fun-loving. But yes, tax controversies for people who work on structuring and look at new challenges. It's certainly always fun-loving to spend time there. So in order to take care of that aspect, that whether you can do a self-study by yourself, I think what you can do is try to communicate with each other on the ADIT groups which are there, and try to create groups within people. We have some of the online classes which are available, or the sessions which are available, whereby you can update yourself on the subjects and how to take a particular topic ahead. And that's how one could look at getting pepped up for the preparations of ADIT. Now, coming to the important aspect which everyone has in mind, does ADIT enhances your probabilities for getting a better job placement? Yeah. So see, it would be a subjective matter, but principally, yes, it enhances for two reasons. One, it's an international qualification. So, we always believe in branded stuff, whether it is old wine or new wine, packed in whichever kind of bottle, ultimately it's wine. But yes, if the packaging is good, everyone likes it. So that's what ADIT brings on as far as your CV value is concerned. But believe me, on practical aspect, ADIT is not merely a qualification. It's basically a professional enhancement on a subject matter which requires a lot of deliberation, a detailed study, and actually a practical applicability of those principles to gain experience over the years. So with ADIT curriculum, I think that is there on the cards. Recognition across jurisdiction, internationally, multinationals or larger organizations are getting aware about the ADIT qualifications, and yes, it does help you get placed well, or if not get placed well only on ADIT qualification, it will certainly enhance your placement capabilities. And the best part is that if you are able to answer and clear ADIT examination, at least you can capture your experience while you appear for an interview, that as to how a practical scenario would be handled if international taxation is subject matter. So that's what ADIT principally helps you to get moving. Any questions which are specific to your thought process as to how it would help a person who's doing a chartered accountancy course, or who has done a company secretary course, or who's actually a lawyer, how would it help? So ADIT is like a icing on the cake. It's like a topping, right? It's you have a vanilla qualification, you can add it with a specialization in international taxation. Now a choice is yours whether you want it with a specific jurisdiction related aspects, or you want it to specialize in your own country on that particular subject. So that's what ADIT is all about. For me, it's been a fun because we started giving this examination to a deep dive into the subject. We realized that yes, there are a lot of thought process around it, and though Rory doesn't allow reappearance of examination, but I believe the concepts of international taxations have undergone so much of change that even I would like to take it up once again. Reason being that, if you look at the modern commentary and the modern concepts with digital taxation and a lot of new things coming up, yes, international taxation has become an interesting topic and subject to add new values to your own career. So that's it from my side. If there are any specific questions which are put across, then that would be answered. There is one question which is always relevant for a market like India, is there on the Q&A box, and that's the question about the cost factor in INR terms. Yes. So barring the forex fluctuation of pound, which shuttles between somewhere around 98 to 103 rupees. I think the costs on from an Indian perspective, yes, it's registration come examination cost would be somewhere around 1 to 2 lakhs in totality. But yes, specific details could be shared by Rory on how the registration cost works, how the examination cost works, and believe me, correlating this question with your determination as to how you can take it up, how you can get kicked about is that once you pay your registration cost, you would certainly be encouraged to study for it, because you would have already incurred a good amount of cost registering yourself. And second thing is, once you have registered for the examination, you will also understand the relevance of passing it in the first attempt, because again, you would be incurring that cost if you were to reappear for the examination. So that's what it is. We will share the specifics of cost, which is available on the ADIT website as well. But it's not that expensive against the qualification or the exposure which you're going to get as far as the course is concerned. There are some tricks as to how do you prepare for it, how do you get the relevant study material. There are a list of study materials which are shared on ADIT website as well. There are a lot of other materials which are available in the market, which are not specifically ADIT material, but it is of relevance, because when you look at the content, when we look at the international tax principles, it takes you to the basic literature. It doesn't talk about a specific study material or an author per se. There is one more question, that would it be more advantageous for Indian TP professional to select a foreign jurisdiction? I would say if you are a TP professional, you are already well versed with the TP guidelines, and it would certainly help you to understand the jurisdiction where your some of the clients are located, which are more favorite jurisdiction, to understand the domestic tax principle in that area. But there are certain jurisdictions which have a very lengthy detailed provisions which requires good amount of time to prepare. So basis that, you can select a jurisdiction, and if you want to keep it simple and you want you are happy to add international tax side of it and just to update yourself on the TP side of it, third paper could be transfer pricing as well. And in case if you have already specialized in the subject, you can also write and select a thesis, because that gives you an option to specialize on a particular aspect rather than going for a jurisdiction. So that flexibility is available. I don't think so you get such a flexibility in one course as far as international taxation is concerned.